Hey boys, how's it going? So, I have an incredibly important video today because I'm learning a lot, okay? Like I'm learning a lot in the area of sales, in the area of really growing when it comes to negotiating and the art of negotiating, right? It's such a beautiful game when you get people to pay you a lot of money and when you get people to really invest into you. It's a crazy game. So in this video, I really just have the blueprint that I use, that I want to give you, and how you can really psychologically think about how to price very expensive deals and how to get people to pay you over $15,000 up to and upsell your offers in the future, okay? So a lot of people I talk to, especially now that I'm more in that education business and whatnot, and I'm in the online education business, I'm doing a lot of high transaction deals. Some of them are revenue shares, some of them are equity deals and whatnot. But there's a lot of people's brands that I'm working with and a lot of people's businesses that I'm creating essentially, where we're creating high networks of cash flow, that there's a big ultimatum there. This video is really going to help you out, okay? The truth is, once you hit that first, like, $15,000 transaction, once you close that deal for $15,000, it doesn't feel real, bro. Like, your life is like, damn, what the hell? Like, you get that huge dopamine rush and you want more and more, but the truth is, you keep getting that and you keep getting that after that, and it really doesn't feel like anything. So I want to bring you guys to that stance and really know what that feels like as well, because, bro, I'm still chasing that. I'm still chasing those big ass deals every single day. So yeah, let's get how to sell things online for over $15,000. The reason I say over $15,000 is because that's about the barrier. I'd say at about $10,999 is really the barrier of very high ticket, okay? And then ahead of that are programs that you want to sell later, okay? So a lot of these are offers like build and release offers where you're just putting them into their business. They're going to not work with any other agency, but they're going to have a solution where it can really help their business in the long run. You build it for them, it operates in their business. They don't have to do anything else about it anymore. You understand? So that's kind of what the basis of these offers are. Let's get into it. Here's where I was in the past, and this is a very short presentation because I really just want you guys to understand. I was terrified with being left behind, and I felt the dread of success in my core. I named this 3 times because when I was first doing sales, like when I was first really trying to get my business off the ground, when I was really trying to get people to pay me money and whatnot, like I wasn't getting anywhere, and I thought my product sucked, I thought my offer sucked, I thought I sucked, but the truth is I wasn't confident at all. It wasn't until I learned the skills, until I learned what my psychology was, until I learned what kind of salesperson I was. I was doing dumbass jobs, like I was going and hustling and whatnot, and I wasn't really focused because I thought my sales was shit. I kept talking about, I'm gonna hit this 100K a month I kept talking about, I'm going to hit this 100K a month, every single month. I went on and on and on. Didn't even scratch like the 5K a month. I didn't even scratch like $5,000 that much. It was fucking embarrassing to me. And that's really how I want you to think during this. I was at that point. I was terrified, bro. I didn't believe in myself at a point. It got so bad. When you're at a person that automatically thinks you're going to win at everything you do, and things start getting so bad and God starts testing you so much and honestly does a grace for you by doing that, that you start, kind of not believing in yourself. That's when shit gets bad. But I was feeling the dread of success in my core. And a lot of you may be feeling this way. But that as much as a creative person as I am, and as much as I don't want to make the whole channel about business and whatnot, once you get that tinge of money, once you get that real tinge of success, you start getting your confidence back. It's like when you land in a new country and you start hearing that Mexican song going like crazy. That's what it's like. And that's where I'm really trying to get you guys to these levels. So I started learning the most important skill known to man: sales. Okay? End of presentation. Not end of video though. Okay, so here's the backstory. One day I was so confident after closing a deal with my business, and me and my friend just wanted to take a ride to Mexico, take a trip to Mexico to really elevate our minds and to really record some content for our personal brand, to really get up there in life, to feel like I was at it, because I've been in my office the commercial building that I rented for like the whole summer, and I was sleeping in there and I was just grinding it out, and I didn't feel like I was having any progress. I was really depressed like that. And in that, you understand that I'm a man who's taken a lot of flights. I'm a man who's been around high value people. I've been around high status people, but I was struggling at this time. And so I conveniently had the 23-hour flight to Mexico with a ride of anxiety and a flight which is very high frequency, a flight with just myself, just to think. And that's what I did. If you've ever taken a lot of flights in your life, you understand that you get a lot of high frequency on the plane. If you've ever been reading on the plane and drinking coffee and whatnot, you're just flying through the pages, your eyes are just zipping because your brain is at such a high frequency. One of the reasons for that is because you literally cannot do anything productive on the plane. The second reason is you don't have your phone, so you can't just go and dopamine rush yourself, like dopamine rush your brain. You can't do anything about it. And three, you're kind of stuck in this seat for 23 hours, so you only have yourself to think. So anytime I'm on the plane, my brain is just at the highest frequency like it is ever been in that month, in that time period that I've been around. It's absolutely nuts. And I always read during my plane rides. And I bought a book the week before on my Kindle, and it was called The Pocket Guide to Selling High Ticket Services by Dan Henry. I was reading a lot of books about psychology at the time. I was reading a lot of books about business and whatnot, and really how to make high ticket offers, how to invest, how to trade, how to copyright, like everything else you need in business. But this is the first book I picked up on sales, and it was 62 pages, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read it. I'm so tired of these offers not going my way. You know, maybe it has something like this. I've been hearing a lot about sales lately and how you need to master sales, Dan Henry and whatnot. I can admit that I wish some things had gone my way during sales calls. I could see and I felt the dread of fumbling some sales calls. I never wanted to do that again. And I kind of admitted to myself that if I didn't learn how to communicate and if I didn't learn how to be as dominant as I am in person on the sales calls, like, I'm not going to make it. And I made that bet with myself. Now, I'm giving credit to this book because it goes over the entire selling framework that I still use today and that anyone can use in their business. And I instantly saw where I was going wrong, and dread hit me, bro. But I'll get to that. I ended up reading that book 2 times on the same plane, and I started memorizing scenarios in which I'd handle objections, and it started becoming fun to me. And I imagined myself like closing 3,000 deals, 4,000 deals, 5,000 deals, working with people long term, where we're both making 75K a month, deals like that, where it's just one person. I started imagining myself this thing that seems so far away to me now, this thing that I only dreamed of at the time. I started imagining myself, people actually paying me money up front to be their businessman, to be that high value person. Because the truth is, I started realizing that sales isn't a burden to the customer anymore. It isn't a burden to the people that you are pitching to anymore. It's actually something that you're helping them out with. You're helping them realize a problem. And because I knew my service was good, because I knew my business was helping people out, they were helping people monetize, they were helping people make other money, they were helping people make more money, that nothing seemed intimidating to me anymore. But I'll get to that. At the time, I was making no money. Right before I went to Mexico, I didn't know how I was going to get my clients to pay me over $2,000 at the time. Only $2,000, but I was going to. My case studies were few and they sucked. And the only thing that made my business look good was the handsome founder and my professionalism. So when I landed in Mexico, I ended up not doing anything fun. I actually ended up studying sales calls and scenarios for 2 days straight. For 2 days straight in the Airbnb. That's how packed I was. That's how much I wanted to make money. I wanted to stay in Mexico for longer. And let me just give you guys a little tip. If you guys ever go to another country or ever put in a scenario where like, damn, I literally have to like live day to day. I've heard Brute say this. When you have to pay rent every single day, you have to be in a scenario where you have to close deals, where you have to make money. It's a crazy scenario to be in, but it's the most motivating shit that you can put yourself in. And after watching those sales calls, after learning from those videos, I ended up changing my entire offer completely. I ended up adjusting my packages to a $500 package, to an over $4,000 startup fee, to an over $4,000 package, $8,000 package, and an over $15,000 package at the time. And this is just upfront. I'll be completely transparent with my offers. This is just upfront. I still got money when they produce deals. I still got money off of revenue share. I still got money off of all those transactions. But deals were customized, obviously. And I know what you're thinking. How can I go from not even making $1,000 to making over $15,000 from one client? But that's exactly why you came to this video. I want to use this as an OBS guide on how you can sell packages and things online for 5 figures and even 6 figures. I'm going to incredibly real in this video and go over the exact scenarios I found myself in. So I'm going to go into the exact thing that I fixed and the exact problem that I had. The first thing is, I didn't let any of the customers do any of the talking. I didn't let them do any of the talking. I always did the talking. I always pitched it. I always thought the faster I talked, the more I always thought that the faster I talk, the more expensive my shit sounds, the more influenced that I sound, the more like less marketing I sound, the faster I get to it. That's not true. The adjustment I made was before I even pitch anything now, I always let the customer do all the talking. Every single one of my clients have heard a variation of my offers. A lot of them have had terrible experiences with other businesses. Some of them have gotten thousands of dollars stolen from them. But I did something incredibly important. I listened and I qualified them before the pitch. I understood their goals and what they actually tried before I even pitched them and where they were trying to go. So you see, I was qualifying them. If I had a high ticket offer, I was going to qualify them first. I wanted to see if they actually thought they were going to get there with their current system. And what I was trying to get them to do in most situations is getting them to admit their faults and that they're actually wrong. And I always said something incredibly important before I pitched. I said exactly this. All right, I'll go over this and we'll see if we can even help you, and if you're a good fit, we can talk about moving forward. If not, just be completely transparent with us and we'll part ways. Sound fair enough? And that may sound straight out of a Jordan Belfort film or Wolf of Wall Street, whatever, but it's exactly what set me apart from different businesses nowadays, because I knew what the fuck I was doing. I always made the call seem as transparent as possible. Second point, and the second most important thing that you want to do to sell expensive shit online, is to make your offers, make your biggest offer look good. You have to present your shit as a premium. You have to play on people's ego. I love when people come to me with an attitude that have a huge ego, because they're the easiest people to close, but they seem like the hardest to beginners. This is the importance of calling the prospects out on their bullshit. I told my community I was going to expose myself when I said this, but here we are. My exact offer for my business was and is this, and you should follow the same thing. Whenever you create your offer, you may get to a point where it's too high for what you're offering. You may have to split test on different offers. You have to try and get everyone to close, or understand why, or they have to understand why that it may be reasonable to close with you at that price. So my lowest price to start was $3,000 startup and $100 per booked appointment that we guaranteed for what we were creating them. It was super simple. No expenses on our end. So I had a guarantee of 2 high ticket transactions and 10 appointments in 3 months. And for them, I had a basic offer. We ran the entire sales process. We were acquisition partners. We ran ads, we created funnels, we had a sales team backing us that qualified their leads, and we gave them access to everything. We gave them access to our CRM. And when we went over that, we made ourselves look extremely good. Now, this is our basic offer, and really I expected to close virtually everyone on this offer. But of course, I wanted to do more. There's so much that goes into the conversation before you even state your offer. Where are they at? Where are they trying to be? What have they tried before? What's their budget? Frankly, if someone came to me and they were making, say, $100,000 a year, and their goal next year was to get to $100,000 a year, I can't even help them, bro, because they're not motivated on their own, on their lonely, to go and get that. And frankly, I don't know why they even hopped on the call with me. And those people don't seem too hungry to move forward. You see, that's how we qualify them before, and that's how you remove the barriers to yourself. And you actually don't go into the pitch right away, but you actually restrain yourself and understand where they're at first. And yeah, sometimes I literally say, hey, listen, I don't think it's a good fit. I don't think we can work together. I don't see us working together. And honestly, that makes your company look even better, essentially. That makes you look even better. Because the truth is, you kind of want people to talk about their ego. I had a guy who was telling me all the money he made. He was like, yeah, I bought a Lamborghini. I'm sitting in a red leather BMW right now. Like, it's all gutted out and whatnot. And he kept talking about his money, how he took care of his parents, how he's made $1 million since he was 21, right? And at the end, I knew that, okay, so when I say the price, it's no big deal because you're a baller, right? I was playing on his ego the entire time. And when I said the price, I was like, yeah, it's just $5,000, right? I said it extremely casually because that's the type of persona he left off. In fact, I wouldn't even show some of these people what I have to offer sometimes. until they told me their entire situation. And to back up whatever price I was going to tell them before, to back up anything that we do, to remove the resistance even further, and to boost their ego even further, I always said, we are a high-end company. This always got them to like qualify themselves for me, bro. This always got them to come to me and be like, oh yeah, I'm a high-end individual, you know what I mean? I'm motivated. Like, you know, if I could get to that $1 million a year, I would really want to and whatnot. I'd be like, great. So keep that sentence in mind because we're going to come to that later. Frankly, there is only one real reason why I'm able to charge $15,000 and over and make it seem reasonable. It's because I position myself that way. Now, we're not going to get the $15,000 every time. You know, we may get over $60,000 in the future and whatnot, but you know, we're not going to get that $15,000 every time. But when you position yourself and when you show that that's even available, and when you actually like see that that's no big deal, you make your offer look even bigger. And it is no big deal, so you have to think of it as no big deal. My next package was $5,000 for 3 months and 3 minimum transactions, and $100 per booked appointment. I changed really nothing about this offer. In fact, this is just the middle offer to go bigger into my deeper offer. I increase this price a lot. I go over $8,000 at times. I don't think I'll ever raise it above $10,000, but it's really a barrier to showing what my highest ticket offer can do. Because really, I think you should only really have 3 prices, 3 packages in your offer in your business. And that's what I did. But I also want you to know, with this offer, it also came with something even better. It came with a higher guarantee. And they were spending more money on ads, so it came with a higher guarantee. It wasn't anything else on our point. Like I said, I don't care about this offer that much, but it was a ladder to my higher prices, which is my commercial package. This package was my favorite. This package was my favorite because not only did I get more money up front, but I got bigger and more professional clients to close at this offer. When I pitched this, I did something extremely important, which I replicated throughout the entire call. I catered to their ego the whole time. Since I was pitching to entrepreneurs in an industry with no market cap and a lot of money to be made, I always found myself with people in businesses that were doing over $100 million, sometimes even $1 billion in transactions. People with teams of up to 100 plus sometimes. So the most important thing I did was actually brand my commercial package. Here is my commercial package. I named it the commercial package for teams. And when I started pitching things at $15,000 to $30,000 plus, I'm not gonna lie, like I got uncomfortable. I didn't think anyone was going to pay me at that price point. That's when I started figuring out the power of catering to your prospects' ego, branding yourself as someone who is high end. And by doing that, you're doing them a service. And there's 2 things that makes this extraordinary if this hasn't blown your mind already. You may be wondering, what have I added to that package to charge so much? But you see, this was only adding 1 different service. This is only adding 1 more service. And it was actually going out, flying out, and filming ads for the team, filming it ourselves, and then running those ads to get them more business. So obviously, if we needed to fly out, we would do so. The funny thing about this too is, yeah, that's kind of a lot, but I've seen people running the same offer as me in the same business as me, pricing way lower prices, but doing way more. And I don't think that's smart, honestly. I think what we're doing is we're catching a goal. Like, we're trying to get them to a goal, and we're actually trying to get them to close high ticket offers, essentially. And that should be your goal. We're not trying to, you know, retain them or anything. We're not trying to grow their social media at the same time that we're not trying to grow their social media at the same time while getting them deals and whatnot. No. We're not doing email marketing for them while getting them deals. No. We're focused way more on direct response marketing anyways. Now, you can build build and release offer like, some Surge talks about. You can put a system in their business and charge a lot more doing that. But still, you're still trying to put a system for a specific problem into their business and do it that way. So why was I able to charge such high prices for services that wasn't A to Z and was incredibly specialized and they seemed over commoditized? It's simply the way I position myself. The third and most important point that you want to have in this whole video is to paint a picture in their head. The whole time that I'm asking questions, that I'm building rapport, that I'm having conversations with them, I'm painting a picture in their head of what it could be, working with us. I caught people at every scenario, every time I mention a price. Very rarely, like you see people, you see calls where they're like, yeah, not interested. I've only had about 1 call where somebody would just like, not interested right away. They started getting like angry and whatnot. Still, every single time they're in their most vulnerable moment. Now, they're not just going to crush you, but they're going to want answers and whatnot. And if they're staying in the call, you're often going to see that when you pitch something like $3,000 to $15,000, they're going to get a little sulky and they're going to just start spraying emotions on you in whatever way possible. And when they do that, they're actually in the position to close. They just need you to not just give them more information, but actually show them why it's the smartest way to go. And that's where I'm going to show you how to do that. But in Dan Henry's book and every other amazing sales book in the world, it talks about and it emphasizes painting a picture in their head. So I had the end goal in mind the whole time. So the first thing you want to do when you're in this position is you want to explain the success process and how they're going to go through it. I present it like this. First, we're going to get access to your accounts and put you in our CRM where you can see where your calendar is being filled up and opportunities are coming in. Second, we're going to set up our sales team on your account and by the phone number so we can start calling people and qualifying people right away. Third, we would explain what would happen when they started succeeding. Do you have any questions for me? And we would explain why they're going to be successful. That is the whole point of this, as if they were already a customer. The last and closing point and most important point is anytime you're selling something very expensive and you're sticking to your offer, you have to be a maniac when it comes to following up. You cannot expect somebody to call you back if they didn't close right away. At a $15,000 offer, they're going to try and search out everything, but the fact that you just put it out there and if you do your sales well enough, because the truth is it's about 70% confidence, 30% your presentation, right? If you follow up like a maniac and stick to your offer and really show that you are the professional in the business, you will get the business. And now I'll be honest with you. A lot of people can take my offer and not close any deals because I have so much relaxation and confidence in my offer when pitching it. Because like I said, I talk to a lot of high value people and a lot of people with huge egos, so I have to make my offer seem like it's nothing, like it's normal. If prospects think $15,000 is a lot, like everyone in this world, they'll still say something like, but I totally understand why you're pricing it like that. The truth is I can make a million sales videos on things like this, but I'll say one more thing. You have to make sure that they have confidence in your system and isolate your price so they can't come back to that later. You see, if your system isn't well enough, because you still have to present your system, but the truth is that isn't the main part of the offer. It's really connecting with them, gathering confidence, and really them buying into you as the founder. Trust me, I've mastered this process, and rarely if ever do I get someone that say they need to go check out their other options. And if someone does say that to me nowadays, I totally understand that they're really just deflecting and they're probably not going to look for anybody after that because they're insecure about something. It just doesn't happen. And if you're still just starting, you can lower your prices, but you are going to get in front of people that will cringe at your offer and still say it's a lot. But you really just have to get in front of the right people, and I promise you'll get there. Yo, thank you boys so much for joining this video. If you got to the end of this video, you're lucky because I'm actually creating a program called Class of One. Been in the works for a minute. We've been working super hard, but it's going to be filled with people that are in a Class of One, that strive to be in a Class of One. No silly players, no people that just want to get into business and they've been trying for the last 3 years and whatnot. It's people that actually want to do better with their life, right? It's people that actually want to become 1% and want to act like 1% men and want to live like that every single day, okay? As much as we struggle, as much intensity is in this world, I want people like that around me, and you should too. So check the link in my bio, follow me on Instagram, message me on Twitter, and follow me on Twitter as well because we're really trying to grow that as well. Appreciate you boys so much, and thank you so much for watching the video. Cheers.